And we are back with some CCA Division 3 action featuring the WPI Grizzco Workers Union from Worcester Polytechnic Institute against Volatile Radiance from Hofstra University. We are in for an amazing match tonight with some playoff implications on the line. My name is Spicy and I'm joined on the mic by Momo. Momo, how you doing tonight?
I am doing wonderful. Thank you so much for that beautiful introduction. We got a very, very hyped set today. A lot of games on the line for Hofstra University if they want to cross off into this playoff for this season. And I'm just really excited to see, are they able to get this 4-0 for today and make sure they solidify that placement? What are your thoughts on this, Spicy?
You know what? This was originally a week 2 reschedule, so I guess both these teams have the prep time now. And considering that what's on the line here, it's important to have that prep time. You're looking at a potential death, like a really big doomsday playoff situation. If Hofstra sweeps 4-0, they force I think like a 3-way tiebreaker for like the 2 spots in playoffs, which would be absolutely crazy. Meanwhile, for WPI, it's Grizzco Worker Union. I'm pretty sure for them is just win one game and they're in. But knowing that all you got to do is for Hofstra especially, like needing to go 4-0 against a team, Grizzco Workers Union, who has yet to lose a set, it could be rough. But we'll see how we're going into it because I guess we're really just get ready to play as we're heading right into game 1 here tonight.
Game 1 here on Clams. Is this crab leg? This is crab leg. I'm not losing my mind. We see a Nautilus. We see some splashes on the side. And we also see a squeezer zap. We have some interesting weapons on the line here. What are your thoughts on this, Spicy?
Yo, I'm looking at what Volatile Radiance is bringing out. I look at the Squeezer. I'm looking at the Octo Brush. And, yeah, especially at the collegiate level, you don't see those very often anymore. Squeezer, yes, it has Zuka, has gained some traction now. But Octo Brush especially, you don't really see too often. And you're looking at this, just trying to finding a pick on Miss L, finding a double onto Mortis also. This is amazing play already from Volatile Radiance. Looking to keep this going and get some momentum, keep their playoff hopes alive early on.
That double will be so crucial here. As you can see, Volatile Radiance starts stacking up the clams, but as I say this, they have 2 down with only 1 clam left, and Grizzco Workers Union already preparing their push with 11 clams on their side. They have a crab ready. Let's see if they're going to be successful with this push here.
Yes, and you see the crab come out now from Grizzco, trying to just find something, just trying to figure something out here in this opening minute. You see a 2-down situation now as Volatile Radiance. Now 3-down situation as Volatile Radiance is really able to start making something going, but don't have any clams ready to be built up yet, not able to really make a push. It's got to allow for Grizzco Union to really just start getting their way back into mid. You see them really, it's an absolute just firefight into mid right now as both these teams are just trying to establish the position. The suction bump's going to force some people away. The cooler out for Volatile Radiance is trying to just find some picks off. You're looking at both teams just firing shots in neutral. Their power clam is finally built up for Grizzco, and now having the crab and the Zuka ready, I wonder if we're going to be looking at a potential push soon.
Just looking at these weapons that both teams have brought up, we have a double Zuka on the side of Grizzco Workers Union, and we have a single Zuka with both teams also having a crab here. And these specials are very strong on a map like this, where especially towards the basket, it's a very linear narrow point that allows you, if you just hit that shot and you get a pick, you can really force in this push. And I'm really curious if either team is going to really try and do this, as we see both of them sort of in this firefight right now for mid, and both of them constantly getting special, but not a team really being able to push up here past the midpoint.
Yeah, it's a lot of just fighting in mid right now, and while Grizzco is finding these picks as we see the knot, and now 2 down now from the side of Volatile Radiance, there's not clams even built up on either side though. So it really is just been a firefight in mid as we've been saying this whole time, but you look at the pass up right there, just trying to see if they can get a power clam going soon, but neither team really able to establish much as Grizzco is going to be going 2 down once again. Volatile Radiance has the cooler ready, has the Zuka ready, as well as the Zipcaster, as well as the Power Clam. They're starting to make their way up into mid. The Octo is going to be going down though, and now the Squeezer still going to have the pick potentially here with the Zuka, but really both these teams, it's a lot of just fighting in mid. No team has scored yet, and we're 3 minutes into this match.
I wonder if this is it's gonna be one of these low scoring games here. Well, we see Krona really fighting this right side here, and this is such a crucial point to really take on this map, because this is what allows you to really solidify a lot of the space that you'll be able to capture on the enemy's plat. And this is really big, you know, coming on the side of Grizzco Workers Union, but still they have not been able to really push up past this ramp, and it's really just crazy to me that they're just trading blows one after another here. Krona going again on the right flank, seeing if they're maybe going to be able to get one here, but it really just is going to be hard for one of these teams to go in without any clams on either side.
That wipe is going to make things really good for Grizzco here. WPI, if they're going to be able to get clams in, they might be able to make a push of their own, but they're going to start going down here as well. The Zuka's going to start firing us some shots, trying to find something, but they're going to go 2 down. It's a respect of 2 down on each side now as Volatile Radiance. Hofstra is going to go 3 down in this situation. We are approaching the 1 minute to go mark. The knot from WPI finally has the power club ready, passes it out, gets it into the basket, and we finally break the basket for the first score of the game.
You know, Hofstra University here, they're in a tough spot. They need to be able to make sure they shut down, and they do manage to get this shutdown. This is really big. With only 40 seconds left, they need to get a push, and they need to make sure that they pass 77 if they want the spot in playoffs. Already with a very stressful start to this set, but Volatile Radiance does not look like the stress is reaching to them at all as they continue to really take these fights with full confidence. We have a Zipcaster ready on the side of this Octobrush, 3 specials ready, 2 specials coming out. As I say this, what do you think is going to really happen here?
Oh my gosh, you see the Zipcaster from the Octo trying to go, gets in that pick as well, and there's the 2 power claims, right? It's a 2 down situation now for Grizzco, and we're looking at approaching the 10 seconds to go mark. I don't know what's going to happen here, but it's got to be just enough to break the basket at least, and they're going to be able to take the lead here at Volatile Radiance. Hofstra's going to keep the season alive here with a comeback win in game 1. Wow, what a game.
That was so beautiful, so well played, and a perfect display of it is never over until it is actually over. That Zipcaster had such a strong impact, getting 2 there right at the end, allowing Hofstra University to really push up that ramp, getting power in. We have an instant replay coming up right here as we see, you know, lots of specials on both sides of the teams, but with this firefight in mid, Hofstra University does not cave to the stress. This was the Zipcaster we were earlier talking about. You know, just seeing them get this first pick here, zipping in, getting the second pick right before it runs out. It was so crucial having 2 down on the side of Grizzco Workers Union with 1 going down in mid. This is a delayed wipe on this side, allowing them to really get that push and advantage up.
Yes, and you see that once they broke that basket, because how well defense was for both teams really, up until like the last minute of the game, it was an easy comeback, honestly, for Volatile Radiance. Hofstra was just able to, they needed basically the bare minimum, just like 2 clams after the power, and they had the pity as well, so good game 1 for Hofstra. Their playoff hopes are still alive. We have to keep in mind, they gotta go 4-0 to force a chance into playoffs, which would be absolutely insane. But now we're going into Splat Zones, Barnacle, and Dime. Do you think we're gonna see any weapon comp changes from either team here?
You know, I'm really curious as, you know, on the side of Hofstra University, they have a Tri Nouveau, they also have a Brush and a Junior player, which seems like weapons that really can force the aggression here. And in a map like this, where it is kind of very small paced, and after you past the zone, you really need to lock out your opponent here, and getting locked out is super easy. But we also see a Forge and an 85 on the side of Hofstra University, and I'm really curious, are these weapon choices going to slow down their advantage here, or are they still going to be able to match up the pace and really push back Grizzco Workers Union here to, you know, really solidify their lead here on zones?
Yeah, now that you bring up the whole like weapon pool, now that I'm looking at it, actually, is Octobrush even listed for Hofstra here, or was this just some like? To say, this is like the secret weapon that no one knew about. We bring it out in the reschedule, I guess, and it's working. You saw the Zipcaster, how that just came out all of a sudden, really led to that comeback win. I'm wondering now, are these weapon pools even updated at this point? If we're gonna be in for some more surprises, that would be incredibly fun.
I would love to see some more surprises. Looks like we're gonna go straight in. Hofstra University already up already. It looks like they have the confidence on their side. Oh, never mind. The commentator's curse strikes once again. However, I'm really curious to see, are we gonna see some street flanks? Are we gonna see some quick mass murder at the start of this game? Are we going to see some crabs maybe? Again, both teams do have splashes, which is very interesting to see as, you tend not to see a lot of splash players recently as Tri Nouveau has really gone up within the meta, with Cooler as well being a very crucial special for a lot of teams to play. And I find it really interesting that both teams are still running Splash this late into the season.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think running Splash at this point is just like a consistency weapon, I guess. It's like no matter what meta we're in, Splash is gonna at least gonna be somewhat viable at least, and Crab is gonna usually have a place. I think especially in like zones, just having that painting power might be really important here. But we're gonna get a chance to really see what are the adjustments being made. Maybe we're gonna see a much more like aggressive game here with a lot more points being scored. But who knows here? We're gonna get into this game too. And what stands out to you so far as we look at the comps?
I see a
Oh, there's the
Zap, I
Forge.
see an X-Flow, which is, a weapon you don't get to see a lot, but definitely one that can be very, very detrimental here on the side of zones. However, it is a slightly slower comp, so I do want to see whether this talk about speed and being locked out does apply here, with again no major deaths happening currently in the game. Grizzco Workers Unit being able to get that first cap, and just looks like a little bit of stalling mid play right now.
Yeah, now that we bring up the whole like weapon pool again, Explo is also not listed as far as I know. And now WPI is gonna be able to get the lead here and really start pushing up after that wipes situation. And with this kind of map especially, this is a potential for a massive lockout here, honestly. As you're looking at WPI really pushing up, the Zuka from Volatile Radiance is doing what they can to just fire some shots and push them back into mid. But right now, it's an all advantage for WPI as the rain comes out, really just putting in some extra chip damage. You're gonna try and find that 1v2 situation, not gonna be able to be enough there. But now a 2-down situation for WPI. Volatile Radiance is gonna have to do what they can to really get back into the mid, because look at it, it's already 30 points to go for WPI.
Only 36 left. They need some sort of special, some sort of coordination here to be able to take down Grizzco Workers Union. They have 2 down on the side, make that 3. A slight delay here with only 10 ticks left. They need to be able to have this cap, and they do succeed the cap here. And this is really good for Hofstra University now to try and get a reverse lockout here against Grizzco Workers Union.
Yes, and we just saw earlier how the lockout was massive for WPI and Grizzco, but if Hofstra's able to do it right back, they can make the most out of this and force them to maybe make this comeback win here. You're looking at the lockout now starting to happen as Hofstra's like working their way, trying to force their way back in the mid. But the strikes come out from WPI. It's gonna be able to neutralize the zone. I don't know if it's gonna lead to a cap yet, but it's really close right now. The Booyah's gonna come out. I don't know. It's not gonna be enough in time as WPI is gonna have the zone and now gonna try to work their way through this penalty.
Once again, it looks like the lockout is coming from Grizzco Workers Union, and with not the full time left, only about 50 ticks with the added penalty. Volatile Radiance needs a plan to go back in here. They have 3 down on the side of Grizzco Workers Union, and it looks like the plan is coming to fruition with the Zipcaster coming out once again. We saw this last time make a change. Let's see if we can see it this time also making a change. Almost able to cap the zone. They get that cap, and now they really need to just push back Grizzco Workers Union to really solidify their lead, but they seem to be struggling in being able to do that.
Yes, as you see them trying to work their way out of their penalty, at least ends up being another zone switch. WPI, Grizzco Workers Union, is going to have control of the zone once again. They're going to try to do what they can to work their way out of the penalty. And there's few players are going down here. It's a 2-down situation for Hofstra. And WPI is really just starting to work their way into this another, once again, of a lockout situation with a 3 down on Hofstra here. And you see them working their way up, throwing bombs to limit entry points. The Octo is going to do what they can to try and force their way with that flank, trying to get up there, but they're gonna get sniped out by the Zuka. That special has been so dominant in this game for good reason, and I think this could be the end of playoff hopes right here, as it does look like WPI is going to be able to hold on this 2-down situation. It does look like it's still gonna be quite enough, as that Booyah Bomb is not gonna be enough as WPI takes game 2.
Man, what a tremendous performance from both teams here. It really is beautiful to, watch both teams try their absolute hardest to lock out the other. But I do believe that having Explo and Forge on the side of Hofstra did really try and slow down their comp, and they weren't able to match the pace that was being given by WPI. And it really did show there when they got locked out, with only I am not even sure what this replay is showing right now. Uh, However, it looks like once again, the lockout really is present here. Being able to not have these aggressive weapons that really can take these fights and push back Grizzco Workers Union, it really creates a difficult way to push back and cancel out this lockout. And I think that was something that Hofstra really had trouble with. However, it was still a amazing try nonetheless, and definitely props to both teams here for playing on this map.
Oh, for sure. I love the analysis there, especially like I was surprised to see the Explo come out as well as the Forge. At least both of them come out at the same time. I think you did lose a lot of like the painting prowess, just a lot of the speed, and you kind of saw them get overwhelmed at times, which is what really I think was the difference maker between the two teams here. But I think, hey, we still got plenty of a set to go, even though Hofstra is, I think, mathematically eliminated out of playoffs. They can still win this set. Grisk and be the only team to take a set off of WPI, which would still be a big statement.
Of course, and for sure, I'm really enjoying the weapons that Hofstra University right now is bringing out. None of these weapons have pretty much been on this sheet that we were given. However, other than some, as the Splash was on here and some of the other weapons were also on here, but Expo was definitely not. And, I'm really curious on a map like Flounder, DC. Uh, the weapon choice here has to be very precise and it has to be very well thought out because you can't also get locked out here on this map. And if they do opt in for another Explo Forge situation, I wonder if they have a different plan to sort of counteract getting locked out here.
Agreed completely, yeah. Flounder tower. So you looking at this is a Flounder you see typically like big bucket map. So Expo could see some play here once again. Maybe I don't know if they'll bring it out as well with the Forge, but there's other things here too. V Blaster Toad, yeah, Toad with a lot of O's and A's runs V Blaster apparently, assuming that is accurate on our sheet. We could see that being brought out here. Looking up from WPI, I think roughly a lot of their weapons have been like working so far. So I'm wondering if they're looking for any like major changes here. Maybe this is the time to start experimenting for WPI, knowing that you're going into playoffs soon. But hey, we're going into game 3, tied at 1 apiece, and we do see a couple of weapon changes, I think.
The Tri-Slosher being the perfect weapon, arguably, on this map. The cooler letting you get that re-entry, the angles from the sides of the wall, letting you get those cheeky kills as well. And with a junior on the side of Hofstra University, I'm really curious, how are these bubble placements going to be? We don't tend to see a ton of bubbler weapons being played, but I am a bubbler enthusiast myself, and I would really like to see sort of maybe Hofstra University has a plan that I'm unaware of.
Yeah, I'm assuming Hofstra has a plan that we're all unaware of, considering they're bringing out weapons that we're largely unaware of right now. But hey, WPI is going to be able to have the tower, and they're going to look to, I think, take it to that first checkpoint already. Starting to just work their way through this opening push and see what's going to be able to happen here. Not too sure how much harder they're going to be able to take it right here, but it does look like I think they are going to be able to take that first check. Yeah, they are going to be able to take that first check, which is going to be at least be big here, especially doing so within the first minute of the match.
We see the Tri-Slosher causing a lot of problems for Hofstra right now, and it really just is some people calling this map Tri-Slosher's playground, because with these walls, you're able to just throw these aggressive sloshes over the walls and really just shut down a lot of players without even having vision. And, being able to even play against these walls and just sometimes switch surge up and getting these kills is really detrimental here. And so I really hope that Hofstra University has an answer to that Tri-Slosher to be able to shut them down.
Yeah, and I think finding that answer is going to be critical here, knowing that the tower is already at the 60 for WPI. Hofstra's got to figure out something on this push to see if they can, what they're going to be able to counteract here. There's some specials online. You see the Zipcaster online. You saw the crab potentially ready to be made. Junior's going to be able to get bubble pretty quickly as well. So if they're going to be able to make a push soon, that will be critical. But I'm not sure, not quite sure what they're going to be able to do here, as the tower is going to be already back in WI territory. WPI is going to keep working their way up to this second checkpoint. Going to see what they're going to be able to do here and just try to keep going with this push.
You know, that wipe is going to be very detrimental on the side of Hofstra University, and they really need to find an answer right now. They need to have some sort of special, whether that's the Zuka, whether that's the Zip, and they need to find something and find it quick, as they're on the last checkpoint right now on the side of Grizzco Workers Union. Players going down left and right, and it really just seems like Hofstra is struggling to get their footing down, as we just see multiple players go down one after another, with some chip damage going up as well. And another wipeout. Wow, Hofstra is needing that wipeout right now to really come back here, really reset, take paint control, and I'm not sure if they're going to be able to send the tower back up to their third checkpoint. However, you know, being able to sort of try and get a control on their zone will be very crucial for them.
Yes, I think that wipe was going to be massive for them, but it's a 3 down once again, though, which is going to make things a bit difficult for Hofstra as they try to make their way through this push. We're less than 2 minutes to go in this match right here, as WPI still has a pretty significant lead, as Volatile Radiance has to work through quite a few checks. The tower is still over in mid, and you see an absolute firefight here just trying to get the tower, and I think that's going to be Hofstra's going to be able to have the tower, yes, and they're going to try and finally work their way over. They're going to get past this first checkpoint, and are we going to be able to see a potential snowball here? They're working it past the 60. It looks like they're in the 64. It's a 2-down situation for now for WPI. They're finally getting some time to cook, and they have the Booyah Bomb online as well to potentially make this last push interesting here.
You know, but you see Grizzco Workers Unit coming all around from all angles, being able to really flank them, get every single side surprised. But the brush is still here on the side of Hofstra University, being able to get a little of that second checkpoint push down. But it looks like this is going to be the end of their push with that section being able to get 2 down. This might be a crucial way for Hofstra to re-enter here and try and take up this sort of presence that they had earlier coming down. Players going down on both sides. Hofstra University being able to get the 2 down here is massive, pushing the tower back with only 40 seconds left. They need to get this push, and they need to get it strong.
Yes, the bubble comes out, and there's also with the Zipcaster online. We saw what the Zipcaster did earlier up, and they're out trying to find some picks right here. They are going to be shut down, though. 2 down now for the side of Volatile Radiance, but the tower is still going to be going for a bit. They're going to work at a 2-52, but a 3 down situation is going to make it very rough right here. 15 seconds to go, and you're finding these picks. Just a massive picks right there from the Splash, is trying to be able to keep things going, keep this game alive for them. They have one last chance at life right here. It's do or die with this push, as the Splash is going to go down for Volatile Radiance. Hofstra's going to go 2 down here, and I think in this overtime, it's going to result in the Booyah Bomb not going to be able to do enough, as Grizzco Workers Union takes this game.
What a wonderful display from Hofstra University. You know, I was very worried that they would not be able to escape the early lockout that Grizzco Workers Union really put up here. But seeing them being able to escape that lockout and getting reverse push going was really, really impressive. However, it seems like they just struggle to sort of hold in that final aggression here, get past the ramp, which is one of the hardest parts to get past on this map mode, you know, especially without many weapons that can attack over the wall here. But as we see, the Splash was really holding things together here in the last 10 seconds, being able to get 3 down. However, the crab placement was maybe not the best, allowing some of Grizzco Workers Union to really sort of go around and then come back in here. And I was very curious why we didn't see a lot of Hofstra University sort of pushing up and really taking a lot more aggressive space. You know, there was a lot of fights going on, specifically where the tower was on the ramp here, and they might have been able to get more advantage of if they did sort of fight around the left, or maybe even take past the ramp. However, still a wonderful game from both teams, and I'm excited to see what they bring out on Rainmaker Undertow.
Yeah, I'm really excited to see what we could have for Rainmaker Undertow here. For both teams, I'm looking at the weapon pools now. Obviously, the weapon pools mean nothing, I guess, because we're just seeing crazy weapon pulls, especially from Hofstra, like, at this point. So maybe we'll see more I think we'll see more Octobrush at this point, considering Undertow can has some solid ground for it. Might help with the potential Rainmaker pushes as well. And then from the side of WPI, I think what they've been rocking so far has been pretty good, honestly. But maybe we're gonna see some like weapon changes. Maybe we will see Vanilla Dapple Dually, for example. Maybe that's gonna be the cooler option for them going in here. But really, this is the time to experiment for both teams. I'm curious to see what we're gonna have coming out here.
You know, I'm very interested to see, are they gonna bring out one of the rollers? You know, WPI has a lot of rollers listed on the sheet, and it seems like we have a Flingza, we have a V roller, and a Carbon Deco. And I would be very interested in seeing what mayhem this roller can cause against Hofstra University. But there's also Glugas on the side of Hofstra University, which I would love to see. Glugas are a weapon that's not played a bunch, not only outside of comp, but even in the general casual scene. And so I love to see Glugas whenever I can. They're a pain to fight, I can say that confidently, but they are a weapon I love to see. And with only 20 seconds left, these teams have to figure out what they're going to run, and I hope they have a plan for Rainmaker Undertow.
Oh, for sure, yeah. I think both these teams probably have a solid plan going into Rainmaker Undertow. It's a relatively common map, especially for Rainmaker. You see it in a lot of tournaments. It's been a CCA staple, I think, for quite a while as well. So this is like a map teams are definitely map mode teams are definitely prepared for. Definitely have a game plan so ready. So now we're gonna get a look at some weapon changes as well too, and see what we're gonna be rocking here for this game 4.
You know, we see a lot of interesting weapons. Mrs. L really sticking on this Nautilus, and I'm really impressed because the Nautilus has been working for them. And we see Pop goes down instantly, and already we have kills going down left, right, and center. Zuka's coming out, and WPI already trying to get this fast push on left. And even though Krona is struggling to fight 2v1. The Rainmaker on Krona was actually kind of insane, being able to get down 2. We see the Carbon Roller come out as well. Got the first check already on left with only 30 seconds in the game. This is going to be a rough start for Hofstra University.
Oh yeah, and with this aggressive Zuka placement too, really adding a ton of pressure. They're already at the 42 here, trying to push it even further. They are gonna go 3 down, which will end that initial push though. But that wipe is critical for Hofstra. But WPI, what a push for them right here in that to make that opening statement in the first minute of the game, getting that check, adding on some more points, and really establishing a ton of position because Volatile Radiance, they really have to work their way through mid, get some paint control, get some pathways possible to make any comeback of their own right here. And with the specials coming out right now, with Mario on the Carbon Deco, with having that Zuka just adding a ton, if it was for the fact that they were going down right now by the Crab, that could have been disastrous. But Hofstra's doing what they can to potentially keep this game alive as they pick up the Rainmaker, look to go onto the right side and get a check of their own.
This right check is going to be really crucial here. We see 3 almost go down on the side of Grizzco Union, even though they had Cooler. This is going to be massive for Hofstra University. If they can be able to contest this pop, maybe get a couple after, they might be able to really get past 42 points here and just nullify Grizzco's initial push. And that will be a very, very strong place that Hofstra University will be in, and then they get a wipeout. Was that a Zuka? I'm not even sure, but that was a hella strong wipeout, and it's gonna be a rough place for Hofstra University to be in. They were able to shut down the Rainmaker, and they're gonna really need to be able to shut down this push and shut it down fast.
Yeah, and I think putting them into a 2-down situation is going to help with that at 3, make that 3 down right here, as it does look like Hofstra's going to be able to pop the bubble, pick up the Rainmaker, and try to make it some points of their own. We're 2.5 minutes into the game now. We're at the halfway point. Both teams have a checkpoint broken. So really, it's just a run at this point to see who's going to be able to make things happen here. The Zuka's going to be able to find a pick as well. Mario is going to go down due to the trade, though. The Rainmaker will also go down. Hofstra is doing what they can here, but they can get at least 2 down in this firefight right here. As you see, Krona just doing what they can to shut down a potential Hofstra push. We're approaching the 2 minutes to go mark. Crab's going to be put out, trying to force the situation and just force some defense here. But it looks like in this fight for mid, fight for neutral, really just an absolute just insane game still going on right now.
On the side of Grizzco Workers Union, we see a lot of them really pushing up and taking these aggressive fights, and I'm wondering why Hofstra is not returning with the same sort of aggression. We see the shot on the side of Grizzco Workers Union that does allow them to take these aggressive fights, but Hofstra University does have the brush, and they are also able to take these aggressive fights. And I think this is one of the reasons that Hofstra University has not been able to really keep up with the same aggressive pace that Grizzco's Workers Union is really being able to set here. And even though they're able to sometimes shut down some of these pushes and really try and hold this mid control, they need to be able to push past the aggression and really hold their advantage down if they want to try and take this lead here.
Yes, and with 1 minute to go, the Zuka's going to be able to find some picks. A 2-down situation for Hofstra is going to make things rough, though, as WPI is now trying to find some picks. Toad is going to go down to 2 down on each side. 3 down now for Hofstra, as this is going to be very difficult trying to find something here. Mario's got to fight off. Going to get picked off, though, in the 2v1, though, and now the Rainmaker is still open up for grabs, but looking at the fights, WPI taking these trades is still beneficial for them. Hofstra's going to try and do what they can to find some picks. The Octo's going to be able to keep finding some as well, having the Zipcaster available as well. Chroma's going to go down here, but then not. Miss L is going to shut down the Octo. Approaching 20 seconds to go. This could be the final push potentially for Hofstra if they're able to pick it up.
With 2 specials on the side of Hofstra University, these specials need to be well-timed and well-played. We see both of them come out. They need to try and get some picks with these specials. If Krona is able to get a cheeky kill here on the Rainmaker, it might be over for Hofstra University. 2 down on the side of Hofstra, and it looks like that was going to be the finishing blow that Grizzco Workers Union needed to give out. And it really just goes to show, if you cannot match the aggression that the other team uses, it will be very difficult to get your footing down and really hold it on this map. And with the weapon choice the Grizzco Workers Union brought out with the shot and the carbon roller, you really do need an answer here from Hofstra University. We have the replay coming in here, and it really just goes to show that the difficultness that comes into play is just not having weapons to answer the aggression that Grizzco Workers Union has.
Yeah, WPI has just been doing so well with speed. It's been really hard to really just touch them at this point, honestly. It's a testament to how well they've been playing this entire season. They have yet to lose a set, and you can see why. Their coordination in terms of aggressive and taking fights. You see a lot of 2v1s being taken, a lot of just being able to work together to find those picks. And winning those team fights gives them so much of an advantage, and it also helps them out so much when they're on defense once they have that lead, because you see this is a team that really just get the lead usually early on, and then they're able to hold it. They don't really lose control of the lead. They're just able to just make the most when they're in their advantage state, and that's just been really good for them. But going into Game 5, Clan Blitz Malcolmart, we are on match point for WPI here, but Clan Blitz was the mode that Hofstra won on, so maybe this is exactly what Hofstra wanted here going into this.
I really am so curious on what Hofstra is going to bring out this map, because if they do not bring out the right weapons, I will unfortunately say it is a slim chance that they take this victory. However, I am very hopeful that I know Hofstra University has some very strong weapons and they have some very strong players, and they can definitely turn the tides here. And so I'm very curious. It looks like we might have a substitution on our hands from the side of WPI here. And with that substitution, I feel like that Hofstra really does need an answer to this aggression. Whether that's having a V-shot and a V-try, whether that's playing just more aggressive in general as a team, or whether that's taking more team fights, I want to see them be able to shut down this initial push that WPI has been being able to get every single game here. And instead of needing to fight back every time, I want to see Hofstra set the initial push.
I would love to see that. Yeah, I think that is something we haven't really seen from Hofstra, and I think doing that is gonna be a bit of a shift in the game, honestly. And I think that shift in gameplay is gonna be massive here. WPI has been able to this entire set to establish the pace of play early. If Hofstra does that, they basically get to control the game. And on Clan Blitz, especially after what happened in Game 1, where with that kind of defensive play, I think getting the lead early here is going to mean a lot, honestly, as we go into this. I'm wondering also with the substitutions, what's gonna change playstyle wise, what's gonna change comp wise. We could be in for a very fun game to watch here, especially knowing what we saw in game one on this mode.
It looks like WPI has subbed out Mrs. L for Phantom here. Phantom is one of the heavy roller enthusiasts, according to the sheet at least, and so I really think Hofstra needs to consider their weapons now and right here, because if the weapons are not picked carefully, then this is a time where the pace might be able to completely get off of their hands. And going into the map, let's see what weapons they bring out here.
Yeah, I'm eager to see what kind of weapon switches we have here. Relatively similar comp for WPI, actually. But we do see the 52, I think, make its debut for the side of Volatile Radiance.
This 52 is going to be very crucial here. I think if they can snag some good kills here and snag some good aggression, Volatile Radiance is in a very good spot to take early aggression here and to really set the pace of this game, as we were talking about earlier. We see the Brush trying to fight right stack instantly, trading 1, 2 down on the side of Grizzco Workers Union, 3 down on the side of Grizzco's Workers Union. This is the initial aggression that they needed. With Phantom back under the basket, they really need to get the aggression here. But looks like they're sort of trying to stall and stay back, and I'm not really sure why.
Yeah, I'm not too sure why either. And you see that with the power clam already ready for the side of Volatile Radiance here, or I think that was. So it's like could be potential here to make something happen, at least to get that opening score. But really, they're not able to like establish much here in this mid fight situation. 2 down on each side briefly, as I think we're going to be seeing WPI just try to really establish some stuff here with the strikes coming out. 2 down situation now reversed now too, as well as really. You're seeing a lot of the advantage stage. You're seeing WPI doing what they do best here and just making the most out of this like advantage stage. They don't have the clams yet, but having this kind of control so far, mid you just see all of this orange yellow paint, and it's just been pretty much WPI this entire game so far, even though the score hasn't changed.
You know, one of the things that I will comment on WPI that they have been doing very well is really taking these fights together. As you can see, sometimes when this shot is taking a fight, there's always a player behind them to really help out. And even though they sometimes might go on a couple of flanks and die, fighting together here is really key to taking a lot of these advantages and taking a lot of these wins here. And even though we see that Zuka might not be able to get one here, Hofstra University still has 2 down, and they need to have an answer ready if they really want to try and get back here.
Yes, and you're looking at this now, and neither team has like clams at all. We're looking at a combined 6 between both sides here. Now the paint shift has switched over to Hofstra. Never mind though, as the strikes do come out, but we're still seeing a mix of blue and orange from both sides. We finally get to see some more Octo play, finding the pick onto Mario as well. 2 down situation on both sides here, and really, it's just been an absolute fight just to get anything here, just to find an advantage. But neither team has found an advantage in terms of clams, and getting those clams, we might be getting a repeat of what happened in game 1, where whoever is able to score might just have an advantage until like we get to see a potential comeback. But we're looking at the Octo getting another pick as well, just trying to do what they can. They also have the Zipcaster online. I'm wondering when they're going to be able to pop it here, and there's a lot of clams starting to be built up from Volatile Radiance. Hofstra's looking to potentially make a push here, as the Octo's going to be in, make it in and break the basket here, and Hofstra will strike first.
The brush has been a crucial part of this team on the side of Hofstra University, really being able to get those initial picks and set this initial presence. This is what Hofstra needs right now, and now they just need to respond with the correct defense. As you see, WPI really fighting from all angles here, trying to come in from all sides. Hofstra really needs to be able to slowly take them out one by one, but it doesn't seem like they'll be able to, because now WPI is back to fighting as a single unit, causing Hofstra to have a wipeout situation here. This is not good on the side of Hofstra. They need an answer, and they need it fast.
Yes, and oh, the power pity clam's gonna come in through that push jump, I think, as well. And now this is a big bit of a lead, honestly. This is pretty big for the side of WPI here, and they're going to be able to keep the basket open still as well, taking it to the 20. They're looking to take it maybe under the 20s as well. They still have some clams online. The Zap and the Roller are just still trying to find something up here. They're going to keep the basket open. They're going to look to try and end things here. I think they have the clams to potentially do it if the Roller's going to be able to stay up. Yep, and that's going to lead to WPI taking the game and taking the set for the 1.
You know, I really do got to give credit though to Hofstra University. They were able to set that initial push. It looks like they just seem to struggle on the side of defense, and so I'm still very proud of the performance that they showed us today on this map. You know, seeing them struggle in that last final aspect, it looked like maybe there needed to be a little more team fights here, maybe a little more coordinated fights, possibly some more special play to really shut them down here instead of just this constant fighting aggression. And without a proper way to really shut down WPI just really took that advantage, grabbed as many claims that they can, and just booked it all the way to that basket until they were really able to claim that win.
Yes, I think from the side of Hofstra, they had their moments. Yes, WPI did win 4-1, but hey, Hofstra Volatile Radiance was looking really good at times. You saw that opening push; it worked out for them a lot. The Octobrush pick, no one was expecting that. Like from our end, we did not expect to see an Octobrush. We didn't expect to see an Octobrush that cooked as much as we saw today. So there's a lot of potential here for Hofstra. We know Hofstra's a great school, has a great program for Splatoon. I'm excited to see where they go next season. But WPI is going to punch their ticket into playoffs, which is going to be massive for them. They're going into playoffs undefeated in sets as well, I think. So I think we're going to be going into the playoff 7 here. I'm wondering if maybe this is an experimental time for either of these teams. Maybe we're going to see some fun comps. It's a fun tradition to still in CCA, which I am such a huge fan of. But hey, we're going in for some more Splatoon. We still got a couple games left.
You know, and we do have the approval that they are playing all 7, which we love to see from both sides of these teams. You know, being able to see more and more games with it looks like another substitution coming into play here with Phantom going out. And I really want to see if Hofstra is going to use this opportunity now to try and match this aggression. We see a lot of teams sort of play a little bit more comfortably, a little bit more flexibility, and a little bit just more coordinated even sometimes after the set is over. And with 2 maps really left in this week 2 map list, I think that we can see a lot of things that will work not only on the side of WPI, but also on the side of Hofstra University.
Yeah, exactly here. I'm thinking, teams typically play a bit more loose when knowing that it's not on the line, knowing you're not really in the knowing these matches don't count. So maybe Hofstra's going to be more in their element here. Maybe we're going to see some of the aggression we've been hoping to see from them. Maybe WPI is going to play even on another level. Who knows, really, knowing that, hey, this is just our final 2 games before we go into playoffs. So we could be in for some great stuff here. Or maybe we see some crazy comps. We never know. It's the beauty of Playoff 7. Looks like WPI is thinking pretty deep about what they are looking to do with this comp. So who knows what they're cooking. But we are going to be going in. We got Splat Zones, Manta Maria. This could be a pretty fun match depending on what we got from both teams.
I'm very curious if they're gonna bring out the Vapples here. You know, having beacons, having cooler, it is a very crucial thing on this map, and it does not look like they bring it out. However, it is all fine. The Tri-Stringer coming out on the side of Hofstra University. I do not believe that was something listed on their weapon list either. So a lot of new weapons coming out on the side, which have been very entertaining to watch. However, once again, with a little less aggression on the side of Hofstra University, they better have an answer for being able to shut down the aggression that's currently being set by Grizzco Workers Union.
Yeah, and you see the aggression come out immediately for WPI. They just have that opening paint is just so much higher for Grizzco's Workers Union, and you can see how it's able to find specials as they saw the Zuka get those picks, and they were able to just take control of both zones. And because it's a 2-zone map, getting control with early paint is going to be critical here. The Booyah Bomb is going to come out for Hofstra. And it's going to eventually lead to the change here. It does look like the one zone is going to be back to neutral here. Now it's going to be looking to like a split zone as well. But Volatile Radiance, Hofstra finally starting to work their way up here, putting WPI into a 2-down situation. And now it does look like this may be the chance for them to really get some stuff going here with this comp. Really start to establish a position here and look to potentially, yep, they're going to be able to take the lead. But the Crab is going to be positioned up aggressively and going to, once again, going to flip immediately back to WPI.
You know, on this map, this is one of the maps that shutdowns are so crucial here, and I need to see Hofstra push into the Rippers Union Street and really try and gain control here, but I'm not really seeing a lot of that. And because I'm not seeing a lot of that, I'm wondering how they're going to really be able to keep their aggression up. The bomb play is coming in here, and as they've just crushed through the penalty, the Brush really coming in here and setting the pace down, not allowing any of WPI to really just enjoy their time here in the back. Another wipeout from Hofstra. This is exactly what they need right now at this point. If they're able to solidify this aggression just a little bit longer, they might be able to take the victory on this map.
Yes, and I think Hofstra has started to find their footing here, and you see them just being able to keep finding these picks, finding these isolated picks, finding 2 down now, think that 3 down for the side of WPI, and it's still 2 down in this situation. They are going to be able to take one zone just to stall it out, but it does look like actually WPI might be able to take the zone, and they are going to be able to take it briefly and force a massive penalty onto Volatile Radiance here. The zones are going to be looking to flip once again back to WPI, but it's going to look to flip. Yeah, it's going to flip back to WPI, but not for very long. And I do think Hofstra is going to do what they can here to take back the zones potentially, and having that one slight advantage in numbers is going to be helpful. They have the Booyah Bomb ready, and you're seeing the 3-down situation now for WPI. Volatile Radiance, Hofstra is doing great, and this Booyah Bomb is going to force making things entry very difficult, and we are once again back to 2 down on WPI.
You know, I love this aggression that I am seeing from Hofstra. This is what I've been wanting to see during their set, and I'm still happy that I get to see it now because I know that they were capable of it. There's a lot of capable players on here. Even the Forge here, taking these aggressive fights. Sometimes you really do need to take these fights and really hold this aggression. The penalty almost over. WPI, with only a couple seconds left, really needs to get in here, really needs to try and neutralize one of these zones, whether that's a special, whether that's something. They're trying their best to neutralize the zone. With only 2 ticks left, they did cap the zone, but they recapped. Hofstra University will take the victory on this map, and it looks like this aggression is what they needed to really take point.
Yeah, I think it's crazy to see that Hofstra was doing a lot of this aggressive play with what is typically seen as a relatively slower comp in comparison. Playing more for range, having the Tri-Stringer, having the Forge Pro. We saw the map comp, we saw the team comps immediately from the map. And it was like, we saw that WPI has this higher paint output and led to them getting the early lead. But Volatile Radiance, Hofstra, once they were able to take control, there was multiple moments where they were just cruising at that point. Just able to establish control, get consistent picks. And you saw that even towards the end, when the Crab came out for WPI, it was going to be able to neutralize a zone, but Volatile Radiance, Hofstra, found those picks, found what they needed to do, got control, and that's the shift that we've been hoping to see this entire set so far, as you've been mentioning.
You know, and I think the Stringer coming out was actually one of the reasons they were able to match this aggression. Stringer having missed really does slow down enemies and causes a very difficult sort of entry point, especially on a map like Manta, where you can either go through the bunker from the jump or from the ramp. And being able to get a miss down on just maybe even the ramp really shuts down a lot of the entry point. And I think that is one of the very crucial factors that helped Hofstra really be able to match this aggression, especially in mid. And I am very impressed with that performance that Hofstra brought up, and I am just amazed that they were able to do it this well. And so now on the final map of the night, possibly, we look to go onto TC Museum. What are your thoughts on this map mode, Spicy?
So, typical Museum, you see it a lot for Clan Blitz. You see it occasionally in Tower, actually. And I think in CCA, you see this actually kind of often, to the point where teams like Hofstra and WPI, who have been around in the league for a while, this is actually something I believe they should be comfortable with. So, It's not exactly the most common map mode anymore in terms of the greater tournament scene, but because of these teams who both have like a history in CCA, I think it's interesting to see like how they approach this. Especially now it's a playoff 7. We don't know if they're going with their game plan. We don't know if they're going to be pulling out something that have not seen on the weapon sheet. Maybe we're going to see Miss L rocking the reflux. Who knows? We will see potentially anything here. I'm interested to see what we got because both these teams, we saw they have been having great moments this entire set. And really, no matter what weapons they're bringing out, there's some amazing plays happening and good strategies being formed, whether that be in the moment or through the weapon comps being made before the game. So we're in for a good game regardless of what is being picked, I think.
I cannot agree more. This is gonna be a amazing way to end out possibly this set. And so I'm very excited to see this is another map where you can get locked out very easily if the opposing side pushes up onto your plat. And so with how much Hofstra was struggling throughout the games today and with the performance that they showed on Manta, I'm really curious. The Tri-Slots are coming back out on the side of WPI, but the Brush and the Junior coming back on the side of Hofstra, are they really going to be able to sort of counter this aggression with the drop coming from Glass on the side of Hofstra? I'm very curious to see, are they going to be able to get some beginning picks? Are they going to be able to set this beginning aggression? Or is it going to be sort of like what we've seen throughout the night?
Yeah, and we see Volatile Radiance actually making the first move here, taking the tower, having some specials online. 3 specials online, actually. We have 2 of them coming out. The Booyah Bombs are getting ready to be fired, and a 2-down situation now on both sides as well. And this could be big, potentially, as they're going to be moving forward here. Gonna make their way over to that first checkpoint, and gonna try and just break it here. Peter on the Forge Pro, gonna be riding that tower, just gonna be able to keep this moving, already working it past the 65 here. Gonna be working to the second checkpoint, looks potentially as well. You see the numbers advantage from Volatile Radiance. They're starting to make some noise as well here. They're going to go 3 down, which is going to put a stop to this push, but they were starting to finally find their footing with that aggression that we've been looking for, as you've been mentioning, and that's a really strong opening push for them.
I love to see this aggression coming out on the side of Hofstra, and it looks like WPI might not have even been expecting it, as they look to be struggling to try and regain their footing. Now, when you see that Hofstra has really found what works for them and have gotten comfortable with it, and now they're trying to put it into play here. You know, Cooler coming out, maybe not going to be able to get the Cooler for every single one, but they're able to gain control of this mid, and they have this control pushed up so far that WPI needs a plan here, and they need to come with it fast. With the Crab ready, is this going to be the thing that shuts down the Hofstra here?
Yeah, I'm wondering if this Crab is going to be enough to shut it down, because Volatile Radiance, Hofstra, once again, at the second checkpoint. They are going to not be able to push back, though. They are once again in a 3-down situation, but hey, the Octobrush has the Zipcaster online. Gonna be able to look to find some picks here. They are gonna be shut down, though, as WPI is gonna finally start working their way into Hofstra territory, and a 3-down situation is going to be beneficial for them, as they are gonna be able to work their way past the first checkpoint. And you see, this is where WPI shines when they have this advantage state, because they're once again putting Volatile Radiance into like a multiple down situation, and it results in them taking the lead, and they're gonna look to keep on going past the second checkpoint, potentially even further.
You know, this is what Hofstra struggled with last time. They were able to get this initial aggression, but they weren't able to come with a response to WPI's aggression once the advantage was set into play. And with only 18 ticks, I believe, left on the tower, you know, Hofstra really needs an answer back, and it seems like they were able to possibly push him off the plat, but now they need to push that tower up the enemy's plat, and they need to push it far. And so I'm very curious how Hofstra is going to be able to accomplish this. People going down left, right, and center. You know, WPI dropping left to be able to get back on that tower. That Tri-Slosher is so deadly here. Hofstra needs an answer, but that's not going to be the right answer here. WPI going to go right back up onto their plat. Hofstra needs a way to shut them down here.
Yeah, they need to start establishing some footing right here because they're going to be going multiple down once again. WPI forces another 3-down situation, and they're now, while being 2 down themselves, the tower is going to still look to keep on moving as well. They're going to be able to work their way towards the 3rd checkpoint. Going to break past it right here, and this is the march to the finish, as I like to call it, because that's going to be it as WPI takes the last game of the playoff 7.
Such an amazing display from both of these teams. Really being able to see the aggression come out from both sides, being able to see some great defense in terms of being able to hold down this neutral in middle, but it also has to come to an end eventually. And that's really the display that WPI gave us there for some of these games, you know. And I really have to give credit where credit is due for Hofstra University. They were able to get that aggression that I had been looking for, and they were able to do it well, but they also have room for improvement in terms of really solidifying their defensive strategy. But they nonetheless gave us a beautiful display of Splatoon, pure Splatoon competitive gameplay here, and both teams played immaculate today, and what are your thoughts on this, Spicy? You know, seeing this final replay here as WPI try and get this ending again. What are your thoughts?
You know what? This was just a great game overall from both sides here. I think what really just worked out for WPI is just the strength from their advantage state. Really being able to make the most out of like every advantage they had. Because you see that once they find these like situations to like get a push in, they're able to force the enemy team into like multiple downs consistently. It was so hard for Hofstra to get back into the game once WPI just really started making this push. And that last 2-down situation, I think, actually was the big kicker for them, as WPI was able to just keep up the advantage, just having the specials, having this, being able to consistently win team fights and just like extend that advantage has just been critical for them. And I think WPI, they're undefeated in this division for a reason, and they are going to be a massive threat going into playoffs for Division 3.
I cannot wait for these playoffs to happen. I know a lot of these teams that have shown great display of team play, of special coordination, of painting, of objective play. Seeing them all clash together is going to be an amazing feat, and I cannot wait for it myself, and I'm sure you can't either, Spicy. And I think this is going to be our time to sign off for tonight. We had such an amazing game today. My name is Momo. I loved all you guys. Thank you all for watching.